The movie starts with a live broadcast about an alarming disease spreading around the world. The disease causes infected people to be highly aggressive, turning them into zombies. Anyone who gets bitten by these zombies contracts the infection as well, causing a global pandemic. Chaos ensues as the pandemic spreads, infecting almost all of mankind. Quarantine protocols are getting breached, protests are happening around the world, and governments are resorting to violent measures to contain the infected. It's like the end of the world is fast approaching. The scene switches to a child happily watching cartoons with his headset on, muffling the sounds of everything around him. His mother is seen in the background, packing suitcases. The television signal gets cut off, interrupting the child's entertainment. He goes upstairs looking for his mom and finds his sister playing with a toy gun. Their mother is on the phone with their dad, who is a pilot. He is unable to come home immediately and join his family due to his job. He talks to his children over the phone, assuring them that he is coming soon. He shows his daughter that he is wearing the lucky bracelet she made for him, so he will be fine. They suddenly hear a scream outside, and they immediately run to the car to escape. However, a zombie attacks the mother. It sees the little boy and attacks him next. The little girl, Abigail, is the only one left uninfected, hiding under the car. The infection spreads fast and turns the mother into a zombie. She sees Abigail hiding under the car and is about to attack her. Luckily, a man appears, shooting Abigail's mother, preventing her from hurting the little girl. Then, the man takes Abigail with him. Just before they walk away, he sees Abigail's brother turning into a zombie and asks her to close her eyes. Then, to end the boy's suffering, he points his gun and pulls the trigger. 10 years later, the world has significantly changed. Everywhere is deserted as uninfected humans hide from those infected. Abigail is now a teenager, roaming the world with the man who saved her, Cassius. He trained her well to survive, teaching her to shoot, snipe, combat, and especially how to hunt for food. One day, while journeying through the woods with their horses, they hear a gunshot from nearby. They follow where the sound came from and see a car in the middle of an open field. It seems that the driver is getting attacked by zombies. They set up their sniper rifle and wait for an opportunity to help out. Abigail tells Cassius that she can take this, and then, as if in a rush, she pulls the trigger. She hits the driver accidentally, instead of the zombie. Cassius is disappointed at her for rushing to shoot. They approach the vehicle. Cassius tells Abigail that the zombie must belong to a pack, and they are nearby, so they need to get away soon. They search the vehicle for anything useful. Cassius sees the man's shoes and asks permission from the barely alive man to take them. The man nods, and Cassius takes the pair. He notices the Bible by the man and hands it to him to give him comfort before putting an end to his misery using his sword. They are about to go when Abigail hears the call from the radio in the car. She wants to answer it to warn the other party that a pack of zombies is coming their way, but Cassius scolds her, telling her she is making a stupid decision again. The man's friends arrive, and they instantly suspect the two of them. The group is about to shoot the two of them, but a woman from their party steps out of the car to stop her group from shooting. Her name is Megan, and she is pregnant. Her husband, David, is also in the car. Cassius tells the group that they were just trying to warn them about the zombie pack nearby. Then, in a matter of seconds, the zombie pack indeed arrives, attacking every human they can see. Cassius and Abigail fight them side by side. Unfortunately, the group gets annihilated by the zombies, except for Megan and David. Together with Cassius and Abigail, they manage to escape the pack. Unfortunately, their car breaks down moments later. David takes a look at it. He happens to be a mechanical engineer. They decide to walk and find a shelter for the night. They see an abandoned compound and settle there. They camp inside one of the buildings. While having dinner, the couple shares that they are heading to a colony located in a safe area above the sea. They communicated with the colony via radio and learned that they pulled a couple of shipwrecks together and made it their sanctuary, having abundant water and food, and even having doctors around. They are aiming to reach it within a week, so Megan can give birth safely there. Cassius sets up a safety trap to warn them whenever a zombie gets near. Then, he shows the couple a map, teaching them where they can start their journey. David thought that the two were coming with them to the colony, but Cassius makes it clear that they are on their own. He clearly doesn't trust anyone. That night, both David and Cassius couldn't sleep. They stay on the lookout. David asks how they were able to survive until now, and Cassius tells him it was sheer luck. David shares that he doesn't know what he will do if there is no way out. Cassius tells him it's easy, then gestures his hand like a gun to his head, pulling the trigger. David thinks he's joking at first, but turns out he is serious. He even shows him a bullet which he calls his Plan B, when worst comes to worst. David suddenly winces in pain, and Cassius notices this. David explains that he just twisted his ankle earlier. He emphasizes that it's nothing compared to what Megan is going through. She just lost her friends earlier, after convincing them that the safest place for them is the colony, blaming herself for their demise. Cassius looks at Megan, so fragile and with only a few weeks or days before she gives birth, risking it all to reach the place she believes will be safest for her yet-to-be-born child. He decides to help them get to the colony. The next day, while Abigail is on the lookout, she notices movements nearby. The zombies have followed them, and she nearly gets bitten by one. Another one follows, chasing her until she manages to push it on a window. Luckily, Cassius catches her hand before she follows the zombie to the ground. The rest of the zombie pack reaches the building and falls victim to Cassius's trap. Unbeknownst to them, Cassius and his group are already long gone. They continue on their journey, and Abigail notices that the place looks familiar. She shares that they used to go there as a family, as there is an airport nearby, where her dad keeps a small plane. Cassius is against going to the airport, knowing the risk of being surrounded by zombies. However, Abigail and David strongly believe they can fix Abigail's dad's old plane and make it work. It would be better for them to travel by air than by land. In the end, Cassius is outnumbered as the three of them vote yes to going to the airport. They pass by an abandoned home and check if they can gather any food inside. Cassius also checks out the car in the driveway and sees a wheelchair, perfect for Megan. They go on with their journey to the airport and reach it in no time. Abigail remembers where the plane is kept, and they take it out. David starts fixing it while Cassius and Abigail are on the lookout. Moments later, the zombie pack finds them. Fortunately, David manages to fix the plane to a state where it could be flown. Abigail takes the wheel. Although she had never flown a plane before, she managed to make it fly. They are able to fly for a couple of minutes, crossing a significant distance. However, the plane's engine starts malfunctioning. Black smoke emits, and they start descending. The plane hits a tree, which fortunately cushions their landing. They get minor injuries, but thankfully they are all safe. From there, they continue walking until they reach an abandoned train station, where they settle in for the night. Megan gets up in the middle of the night looking for food as she suddenly gets hungry. She sees Cassius and gives him a knitted scarf to thank him. Cassius shares that Megan reminds him so much of his late wife. They also talk about Abigail. He shares that he ended her mother and brother's lives. That's why he protects her and teaches her how to survive, as it's the only way he can think of to make it up to her. Megan emphasizes that he saved Abigail as well, and that's enough. Meanwhile, David is inside a carriage. He seems to be in distress, pointing a gun at his head. It is revealed that he got bitten by a zombie. It seems that the infection is progressing faster, and he fears that he might harm his own wife and their unborn child. However, he is not ready to go yet. He wants to see to it that Megan is safe before he can go. He tends to his wound and goes back inside. The next day, they continued walking. Cassius notices the changes in David, as well as the bleeding wound in his ankle. While Abigail and Megan are walking ahead, he confronts David and asks when he plans to tell them that he is infected. He points his gun at him, telling him to pull himself together. Abigail finds a house. Cassius carefully approaches, and the light suddenly turns on. Abigail fearlessly approaches and talks to the owner, asking for a little help. The owner decides to let them in. Before they can step inside, the owner, Norton, tells them to leave all weapons in the chest. Norton is a scientist and creates inventions. He seems to be living an abundant life despite the catastrophe going on in the world. After freshening up, everyone gathers in the living room where Norton serves them some refreshments. He asks where the group is headed, and they share that they are going to the colony. Norton mentions that he speaks to them from time to time through his radio. Abigail asks why he is not with them, and he just says he is better off staying in his house. Norton also shares his view of the world. He thinks that the pandemic is just the next stage of evolution for humans. He expresses that only the strong should survive in this world, which Megan thinks is cruel. Cassius also gets the feeling that somehow Norton is in favor of the apocalypse. David starts feeling unwell again due to the infection and goes to the restroom. When he comes back, the rest of his group are already unconscious, as it turns out that Norton spiked their drinks. He holds a device in his hand. It is his invention that can control anyone infected by the virus. Norton brings them down to a dungeon and ties them up. It is revealed that his wife has turned into a zombie, and he uses her as a test subject for his experiments. He controls his wife to attack the group. At this point, it is revealed to the rest of the group that David is infected. The virus gives him unusual strength, which he uses to help free his friends and wife. Then, they manage to escape. In the process of escaping, Megan's water breaks. The zombies find them again and follow. They see lights from nearby and realize they have found the colony. They are very close to safety. David decides to distract the zombies to give his friends a head start while they run to the colony. While he is still conscious, he fights the zombies head on. Unfortunately, the leader of the pack finds him and snaps his neck. Cassius carries Megan while he and Abigail run for their lives. Luckily, the lookouts from the colony spot them and provide assistance in chasing away the zombies. Then, they pick them up by boat and quickly attends to Megan. The next day, they meet the leader of the colony, who welcomes them. Then, Abigail decides to explore, leading them to argue because Cassius tells her not to wander off and not to let her guard down. She is acting up because she thinks Cassius wants her to be like him, who prefers to be alone all the time. Cassius visits Megan, who has just given birth. Her baby is healthy, but Megan doesn't have much time left. She asks Cassius for a favor, to take care of her newborn daughter if she doesn't make it. Cassius promises her, Abigail is having fun exploring the colony. She meets a guy, Roderick, who instantly captivates her interest. Roderick shows her around and leads her to a party with their fellow teens on board. He sees him going down to the engine room and follows him. She sees a remote hanging on a rail and is about to press it when Roderick stops her. He explains that it's a remote for self-destructing the colony, a safety net when the worst happens. He also shows her a secret escape passage that leads to the land. The next day, a man from the colony is fishing when Norton calls his attention. He is hiding his device behind him, waiting to execute an evil plan. Moments later, zombies start climbing the ship and attack the residents. What used to be a sanctuary is now in chaos, all because Norton wants to get back at Cassius. Cassius carries the baby while trying to look for Abigail. He runs into the doctor, who volunteers to take care of the baby and promises to take her to safety. Abigail finally spots Cassius and heads toward him, hugging him tightly. She is very relieved that he is safe. She tells Cassius that they have to head to the bunker to get to safety. She goes first but runs into Norton, who punches her. Cassius sees this and immediately gets enraged. Norton controls the zombies to attack Cassius. He falls into a ditch, where Norton follows him to beat him up. Unfortunately for him, Cassius sees the opportunity to destroy Norton's device. The confident Norton is now powerless without his device, and the zombies come to devour him. Abigail and Cassius run to the bunker and get to the secret passage. Luckily, Roderick waited for a moment before pressing the self-destruct button, giving them enough time. After successfully crossing, they all watch as the colony explodes. The problem doesn't end there, as one of them got bitten by a zombie and crossed to the land. Cassius is ready to exterminate him, knowing that he is a threat to the people. Then, another zombie appears, devouring the man. Cassius combats the zombie, but without his gun or sword, he has a hard time fighting it. Abigail picks up his gun and is ready to shoot. This time, instead of shooting in a rush, she waits for the right moment to pull the trigger, and then she does, successfully exterminating the zombie attacking her father figure. She did learn from Cassius's lessons after all. Now that the colony is destroyed, they choose to move forward and find a new home where they can all be safe.